Hello everyone. Well, today I have the thing that you've all been waiting for. At least I hope you have. Today I'm answering your frequently asked questions. So come along for the ride, buckle up, and enjoy it. Question 1. What prescription are your glasses? I get asked this question a lot, and I honestly don't know. I have absolutely no idea what they are. I just know that they help me see shapes of stuff close up better versus when I don't have them on. Question 2. Was I born blind? That's kind of complicated because I technically wasn't, and I was born 2.5 months early. And because I was born 2.5 months early, they had to put me in an incubator. And I guess they didn't know back then that if you give someone too much oxygen, it can damage their eyes. And that's what happened with me. I can't read print. I never was able to read print at all. And it has caused a lot of damage. Like, I've had to have over 21 surgeries on my eyes. From the time I was a baby to when I was little, I had at least 21 surgeries on my eyes. Question 3 kind of goes with question 2, and question 3 is, do I have any sight? I do have some sight, but it's not really that useful. I can't make out details of anything like facial features or the color of someone's hair. I can make out the tone, like whether it's light or dark, or whether they have light skin or dark skin. But as far as like eye color, I can't do that. Can I see pictures? I cannot see pictures. I cannot. This is why I always ask that people please use the compose image description feature on Twitter. You can get to that by going into settings and privacy and then clicking on accessibility and then clicking on compose image description and then clicking to turn it on. That will allow you to add an image description to a picture that you post that is separate from your tweet, that doesn't cut into the amount of characters that you use. And it will just be for people like me who can't see pictures, so that we can participate too. Side note, this does not work with memes or GIFs. I don't know why. I guess Twitter didn't think of that when they implemented it, but thank you, Twitter. Also, this is why I ask if you post a picture on Facebook to please describe the picture, because I cannot see pictures. And Facebook does have alternative text now for pictures, but it isn't that great. One time it said that an ultrasound of someone's baby was of a cat. It was probably a good thing that I knew it was an ultrasound, because then I was like, oh, you're pregnant with a cat. How neat. But yeah, please describe your pictures for me and other blind people. Can I take pictures? I actually can take pictures, but they aren't very good. I have an app on my phone called TapTapSee that allows me to take pictures and it will read things to me. The camera on an iPhone, if you're running VoiceOver, which I happen to be, will also tell you whether or not your face is visible in the camera, and where it is on the camera. If you have been following my videos, then you saw this in a previous video because it was constantly doing that and it was annoying, but it will also do that with pictures. So do I have a guide dog? If I don't, why? I do not have a guide dog, because my mobility and orientation skills aren't up to par, and in order for me to have a guide dog, they would need to be. A lot of people don't realize that if you have a guide dog, you have to be able to know where you're going, and you have to have good directional sense, which is orientation, in order for you to get there. Your dog can help you, but it's not going to lead you to where you want to be unless it's been there tons and tons of times. Like, you have to tell it where to go. You have to tell it to go straight. You have to tell it to go left. And you have to be able to successfully know when to cross the street. It can stop you from crossing the street if it thinks it's really dangerous, but you ultimately have to make that decision. The dog can't do it for you. Do I use audio description? I absolutely do use and love audio description. For those of you who don't know, audio description is a service where they will describe things that are happening that is visual in a TV show or a movie so that we know what's going on. So like if somebody passes a note and you have to be able to read the note on the screen, or somebody is speaking in a different language, they will read the note and tell you what the subtitles say. The newer movies and stuff doesn't really tell you when someone is walking or clapping or something obvious like that, something that you can hear. However, the older ones did, and it was really annoying. So if you go watch a really, really old audio described movie, it will tell you that. But it's kind of obvious that someone is running or clapping or walking or opening a door. It's just not always obvious where they're opening the door, where they're running, whether or not they're climbing into a tree. But yeah, audio description is great. Netflix has audio description. You can access audio description by going into your iPhone settings and making sure audio description is turned on if you have an iPhone, or you can go into Netflix and go into settings that way. Mine was automatically turned on because it was turned on my phone previously, so I can't really remember how to get to it in Netflix, but I know that you can do it, and I know that there are some sighted people who use audio description on Netflix when they're driving so that they can watch their shows. Which, yay, it's going mainstream. Which means people will use it more. And they will actually maybe hopefully put it on more things that need it, like The Walking Dead. Anyway, I'm glad that more people are using it, and I'm glad that it is there for them to use. Do I go to the movies? For some reason, and I don't know why, I get asked this a lot. Like, a lot. I guess people just assume that I don't go to the movies because I'm blind. I'm not really sure why that is, because even if I don't have audio description, I could just listen to it like a radio. I wouldn't get much out of it visually, but I would still know what's going on unless it was a movie like The Passion of the Christ, because I was totally and completely lost the whole time. Anyway, yes, I go to the movies. AMC Theaters, yay, now has a unit that you can get that has a pair of headphones with it, and it is audio description. And you have to request it, and I don't know that they have it for every movie, but they do have it. It is available, and I've used it, and it's great. And it's even better because when you're wearing the headphones, you're the only one that can hear it, and nobody else can.
Focus unlocked. Image. Double tap to focus.
How can I tell my money apart? Well, when I was in school, I developed a system where I used a combination of folding and paper clips. I would use some folds for smaller denominations. Denominations? Is that the right word? And small paper clips for some small denominations, and large paper clips for some large ones, and some folds for some others. However, I now have on my phone, and I've had it for a few years now, an app called Money Reader. It's great. It's amazing. And it's free. And you take a bill of any denomination. It doesn't have to be US. There's other currencies you can use. And you hold the phone over it, and I guess it takes a picture of it, and it'll tell you what the amount on the bill is. So if you're in US dollars, it'll tell you $1, $5, $10, $20, $50, $100, $2 bill, that sort of thing. And yes, $2 bills really exist, guys. They do. For coins, I've always done it by pennies are smaller than nickels and aren't as fat, and they have no ridges. Dimes are small and have ridges. Nickels are kind of fat and don't have ridges. And quarters are bigger than dimes and have ridges. And 50-cent pieces are bigger than quarters and have ridges. So that's how I do coins. And I've always done coins that way. I'm sure you can use Money Reader to identify coins, I just don't. Why is there Braille on ATMs? I get that question a lot, but not as much as I used to. There is Braille on ATMs because blind people have to be able to access ATMs as well. Blind people, like sighted people, can't always trust people to take their debit card.
Viewfinder. Focus locked. Image.
Really? To take their debit card and put it in the ATM and take out the amount of money that they were asked to take out and bring it back and bring back their card. So some ATMs have Braille on them, and blind people can either access them by walking up to them, or if you're in the back driver's side of the car, so like if you're in the back seat on the driver's side, you can possibly pull up to it and a blind person can access it that way. Or if there's a way that you can pull up to it on the passenger side, a blind person can access it that way. And some ATMs also have audio, so you can put in headphones and press the buttons and it'll tell you what you're pressing. I don't think my bank has that. I kind of wish they did. I don't even think they have Braille. But that would be really cool.
Viewfinder. Focus locked. Image. Double tap to focus. Double tap and hold to adjust exposure.
How do I cross the street? That is a really complicated question that I get asked a lot. People don't realize how complicated it is. You have to know mobility and orientation. Mobility is how do I get from point A to point B. Orientation is what direction am I going. So you have to know which direction traffic is going because you have to know who you can go with, and I always go with the traffic that's going away from me because usually they're going in the same direction that I am, and the traffic that is coming towards me is more likely to run me over. Which, side note, if a blind person is crossing the street, please stop and let them cross. We have the right of way. I almost got ran over in a parking lot once because someone didn't stop, and it wasn't the street, but it was really scary. And with busy intersections, sometimes it's hard to cross the street. So please be mindful of blind people and stop for them if you can. Also, in bigger cities, they have auditory signals that let blind people know when it's safe to cross the street. I don't have anything like that in my town, but I have heard them and they are amazing. How do I match clothes? I usually just go in my closet and pick out clothes unless I know that something is a specific color. Then I'll ask someone to help me. I have these pants that are like a coral color, which is like a really, really bright orange. And when I wear those, which is very rare because I feel like it's annoying to constantly ask people to help me, I usually will be like, hey, can you come help me pick out a shirt? I used to have an app on my phone called Color Identifier, but they stopped updating it. And Microsoft does have an app out now. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but they are apparently developing a color identifier feature, and I tried it a few months ago and I wasn't real impressed with it. It needs some work. It might have improved by now, but when I tested it, it needed some work. How do I match my socks is the second part to this question. And the answer is I don't. I don't match my socks. Because who's gonna look at my socks? When my mom was alive, I used to have her match my socks because she was good at telling colors apart and I'm not. I have a lot of white and gray socks, and I can't tell the difference between white and gray anymore. So I don't match my socks anymore.
Viewfinder. Focus locked. Image. Double tap to focus. Double tap and hold to adjust exposure.
Do I use a white cane? Yeah, I do use a white cane. Although there are some canes that are different colors, there are some canes that are blue, there are some canes that are red, and it is perfectly legal to have a multicolored cane. In fact, my cane is sitting right over here, And hold on. This is my cane. It's great. It has a black handle and it's white all the way down until you get to the end, and then the end is red, and it has like a ball for a tip. I don't really know what to describe it. I need a new cane.
55 seconds.
But it folds, which makes it easier for me to put under my chair or my desk or table when I'm in a classroom, and it's out of my way, it's out of everybody's way. It's just easier that way. They do have some canes that don't fold, but those tend to get in people's way in my experience. That is all of the questions you guys have asked that I have not answered in previous videos. There is an FAQ part 1 and an FAQ part 2. Feel free to check those out if you haven't already. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Make sure it is turned on for all notifications so you can see my lovely face, and that it's not set to occasional, because you might not see all of my videos. I am so sorry for the extremely long video, but I hope it was worth it. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys!